Hi friends, Chandrasekhar here again. Now we are into the 18th of the series of lectures in Jaimini Sutras, Upadesha Sutras. Rather, my concepts or my understanding of what they imply. Because as you know, sutras are always very concise, very brief, but they have got extract of everything, and that we have to try to take out of the sutras. And being sutras, they have to be linear, so there is always a thread of logic going through the sutras one after other. So now we have seen everything else now, and now we will go to the what can I say? The next step is again what a person will do, but more on the side of the arts, sciences, being an author, knowledge, and all those things. And the first sutra comes like Mata Pitro Chandra Guru Bhyam Grantha Kruta. Mata, as you will find, is 5, Pitro is 1. So this is talking about either in the Karakansha or fifth from the Karakansha, or as I said, those umpteen number of things which you can see from the Lagna, from the Charakaraka himself, either in the Lagna or Namansha, Rashi occupied by Charakarakansha, either in Rashi or Namansha. I am repeating this, but I think I need to repeat this again and again to impress upon you. Otherwise, what happens with sutras, one forgets the earlier connection. So here, what is said is Mata Pitros Chandra Guru Bhyam Grantha Kruta. If fifth from the Charakarak or Karakausha, or within the Karakausha itself, there is placement of Moon and Jupiter, then the person will be an author of a Grantha. Now, Grantha is something which is treatise, we may call it, and in the language of ancients, it was the different sciences like the 6 parts of Vedas, Vyakaran, Jyotish, and so on and so forth. And the Nirukta, and there are many different things. So anything which is extremely important, which has some philosophy, which has some logic, that sort of treatise is called the Grantha. Shukrena Kinchit Unam. So if Venus is occupying or aspecting those places, but I think that would mean that if Venus is aspecting these Moon and Guru combination in either fifth or the Karakausha itself or Charakaraka itself, because later on you will see only Venus aspects, then what happens. So I think this refers to the Chandra Guru combination, Moon and Jupiter combination in the Charakaraka itself, the Charakarakausha itself, or fifth from them. So if Venus is aspecting, then what happens? A slightly lesser level of knowledge or seriousness, but still somebody who is perhaps writing a big book, but something which may not be exactly connected with thoughts about the Vedangas or Vedas or anything very serious. Not a great tome, let us put it that way. That is easier perhaps to explain. Then Budhena Tatopi. So if Mercury is aspecting this combination or occupying these planets or Karakausha and the fifth from it, either of them, with Chandra and Guru of course being there, then it will be even lesser. So I would put it like this, something very knowledgeable would be the Grantha indicated by Chandra and Guru, because you are aware Chandra and Guru are actually the preceptor and the student, so connected with learning some great text or treatise which imparts knowledge. Shukrena Kinjit Unam. So when Venus conjoins, then it will be slightly less. So it would still be about something important, perhaps in the area of Venus, like Natya Shastra, the science of drama and other things related to Shukra, or something still not exactly a knowledgeable grantha, but something which is also very valuable, a good research paper you can call it. So this is Shukra, and Buddhena Tatopi, Buddha will be still less, so I would say the popular novels and all those forms of, because Buddha, is somebody who can make puns, likes to laugh a lot, make others laugh also, so somewhat frivolous, if I may say so. Nowadays, of course, people will be angry if I say the so-called popular knowledge, novels or the bestsellers are frivolous, but yeah, that is how perhaps the ancients thought about it. This is not my commentary, this is my interpretation of what it means, the Buddhena Tatopi, what is the next lower stage. Then, Shukrena Kavir Vagmi Kavyadnyascha. Now, if only Venus is so connected with the Charakarakansha or Charakaraka, or fifth from itself, or Karakansha and fifth from itself, I think I would not repeat it now in this lecture because you have understood it. Then he is a poet, he is good at giving speeches. Vagmi is, Vak means speech, talking, and knower of Kavya. Kavya is poetry, one who understands poetry, perhaps in depth. When Jna comes, it is more than ordinary knowledge. It's not that I have read X, Y, Z, it's okay, but whether you have understood what the poet exactly wanted to say with this poetry or poem, and then perhaps that is where the Kavya Jna comes. Could also mean a critic of poetry or poetical works. Shukra, by the way, himself is also called Kavi. One of the names is Kavi, the poet. And he is also, I think you would remember, Sarvashakta Pravaktaram is how he is praised in the Navagraha Shastra. So he can deliver speech, he is anyway advisor to the king. So all those things are come under the domain of Venus. But then he has to aspect or occupy those things by himself. No moon and guru combination here to be modified, because they perhaps indicate writing, being an author. So that is the difference. This is how I think. Then comes the great guru alone. What he will do. They say Sarvavit Grantikascha na Vagmi. So he is all knower. He knows many things. He writes many treatises. But na Vagmi, he doesn't speak out in an assembly of people. Some people are great, knowledgeable people, but they don't like or they can't participate in discussions. And additionally, Vishishya Vayyakarano Veda Vidascha. Veda Vedanta. So, there are different, what can I say, divisions of the knowledge, and one of that is Vishishta, when he says maybe it is Vishishta Vedanta, because Vedanta comes later on in the same para and same part of the aphorism, the same line, if I may say. Vayyakarano, he is a grammarian. Veda, Vedanta which? Knower of the Vedas and the Vedanta. So Vedanta generally refer to Upanishads, which explain more in a discussion form between the Guru and the Shishya about what exactly Vedas are implying. So let us put it this way. This is easy. Then if Saturn is there, Sabha Jada Shanina. Saturn doesn't want to speak in public. As you know, Saturn generally, if connected with the second house, doesn't reveal what he thinks, so he might not want to talk. Then if Buddha, Mercury is there, what happens? Now we say earlier Buddha was aspecting the first or the fifth from the Karakausha or Charakaraka. And with Chandra and Guru being there, so he was a writer. Here what happens is, if he is only Buddha is aspecting or occupying such places, then he becomes Mimansa. Mimansa is going into depth of something. So deep analysis, analytical ability or desire to analyze things in depth about what? See, in ancient texts it will always be about the ancient sciences like Vedas, Vedantas, the Vedangas, even the different limbs of the Vedas, one of which is astrology, as you know, Jyotisha. So his approach is to analyze in depth. We can say to discriminate. That is what is Mimamsa about. There is Purva Mimamsa also of Jaimini, but that Jaimini may be different from this one. And then there is Uttar Mimamsa, so there are different things. So I would refer you to some good dictionary, maybe Molière Williams you do, and you find out for yourself. The concept is a bit difficult to explain. Kujena Nayyayika. If Mars also occupies or aspects those places, the first and fifth, from the Karakasha, etc., then he is expert in Nyaya. Now, Nyaya many times is translated as law, but I think, to be fair, it is logic. It is pure logic. Of course, law is also based on certain logic, and if you want to present your case in front of a judge, you have to be logical. So, remember that Mars has logic as one of its qualities, and that is why you will see that if Mars is in, say, 11th and aspecting the second, that person will speak harsh, but logical, and logical truth always hurts. So he has a capacity of hurting others because of his harsh speech, and that Jataka would always say, but I was talking what was truth. So, Kujena Nayyayika. Then, Chandrena Sankhya Yogeshta. What is Sankhya Yoga? This has been translated as Sankhya and Yoga. I don't think it is Sankhya Yoga. This is also told by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita when he talks to Arjuna about different ways of approaching God. And what is Sankhya Yoga? See, there are 25 tattvas. The 23 are Buddhi, Ahankar, Tanmatra, the 5 Tanmatras, the body parts, 5 Panchamahabhutas. You know them, Teja and Gandha and see, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Jala, these are Panchamahabhuta. And then Mana. So 5 and 5 are 10. And so then Mana is there. And these 5 are again other 5s connected with you. So external organs 5 and the hearing and other things. So 5 and 5, 10. Same happens with the Mahabhutas. And so these are 23 plus Buddhi, Ahankar and Mana, mind. These are supposed to relate to Prakriti. And the 2 relate to Purusha, which is Purusha, that is the creator himself, and Atma, soul. And Sankhya Yoga generally tries to delve deeper into how one can get out of the bond of these 23 physical things which capture in a way what the Atma, the soul, wants to do, and how Purusha, the great creator of all this, even the Prakriti, can bring this Atma out of the clutches of these 23 factors. So this is Sankhya Yoga. One of the greatest proponent of Sankhya Yoga was Kapila Muni. Some say it is 14th century, some say it is earlier. I am no expert nor scholar of Sanskrit to speak authoritatively on that. I am sure others will do it. Then Chandrena Sankhya Yoga Stuyasya, additionally he is also Sahityajna, knower of literature, one who understands literature, perhaps critic of literature, or somebody who researches literature. And Gayakascha, he is also a singer. So moon has connection with music. As we will say, there is something else then who is also connected to music, but perhaps in a different form. And so after Chandra with Sankhya Yoga and Sahitya, knowing Sahitya is literature and the music, Gayak is one who sings, he is a musician rather. Then comes the great sun, the other part of moon. Moon is the singer, whereas Ravina Vedantadnya, Vedanta, as we have seen, is perhaps the Upanishad, that is where the Veda part ends and then the Purana starts. So that is Veda Anta, you can understand Vedanta. We also already talked about it when we were talking about the qualities of Guru aspecting, or perhaps I would more think along the line of occupying the Charakarak or fifth from it, or Charkarkamsha and fifth from it, either in Namash or the Rashi chart. Here, Ravina Vedanta, no, he is knower of Vedanta. Gitadnyascha, he understands music. Now, being a musician is different and understanding music is different, or perhaps he is also creator of music. If I would want to expand on the meaning of the Gitadnya, because unless you know, so he knows the meters, what are called as the Chanda, because Ravi, sun himself, is supposed to be grantor of knowledge. That is why his Adhidevata is Lord Shiva, from whom all the Shastras came. So, Ravina Vedantadnya Gitadnyascha. Then, what happens to the great Ketu? Ketuna Ganitadnya. Remember in the last lecture, I think I was talking about the Ghatika Yantri being one of the qualities of Ketu. When we were thinking about, I think, the fourth from the Karakavasha, and I was saying that means he knows calculations. And this proves it. Here he says, if Ketu is placed either in the Charakaraka or fifth from it, even you can try it on Lagna, then this person understands mathematics. Now, understanding mathematics doesn't necessarily mean a mathematician. He understands the figures, the game of numbers, if I may call it. In a way, statistics, if I may call it, or even accounting, if I can go further and call it, because ultimately you have got certain numbers, you have to understand what they are telling. It's easy to read a balance sheet, but very difficult to understand it. And that is why many a times I have seen Ketu in the fourth house can make a person a chartered accountant or certified public accountant, as you may be saying in the US of A. So, Ketuna Ganitadnya. Then, with this Ketu, if there is a connection of Jupiter, Guru Sambandheya Sampradaya Siddhihi. Sambandheya means because of Sambandha relations of Guru, what happens is Sampradaya Siddhihi, which I think would mean that this Ganitadnya Ketu, if there is a connection with Jupiter, then it is possible that Ketu, rather the position of Ketu, might use his knowledge of the numbers and ability to understand numbers and variables and different factors where numbers are considered, including time and speed and relative speed and volumes and all those things, then this person will be able to, perhaps Siddhi is to, making Siddha means to make something happen. Sampradaya is usually the tradition, whatever is the traditional knowledge, and he is perhaps able to use his knowledge of the numbers to prove certain things in the traditional knowledge or traditional sciences. This is how I would interpret it. Everybody has freedom to interpret it his own way. You too are. So my friends, I will not bore you much. I am also tired today, a bit tired, not much. But and anyway, it is about 19 minutes or so. So I'll take your leave. Do let me know your impression of what I am saying. Some of the lectures might appear to be not that. I may not hold you on to what I am saying, but remember, these are sutras and these are very difficult to explain. Even for me to take out the actual meaning becomes difficult. Of course, even to me, means I am no great person, but though I have studied them and I also connect them with the traditional form of astrology, which is generally called the Parashari. Though Lomash and Romash and everybody has said the same thing in different words. Garga himself, whose death even the great Parashara acknowledges in his BPHS, Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra. So they have tried to interpret all these numbers in different forms, in different ways, and the knowledge is given in different forms. And the sutras become easy to remember but difficult to interpret, is what I always say. And I really, my hats off to all those great people who have translated them and given to you in book forms. So my friends, if you like this, do let me know. If you hate it, still let me know. And so thank you and a very good night.